السلام عليكم. Really, it is very nice to me to be between my professor here, and I will thank Professor Dr. Hassan Mohideen and Dr. Muhammad Sha'rawi, and also Novartis to invite me to this talk. My topic will be about hypertension. Hypertension is the gate of cardiovascular disease. As we know from Dr. Mohsen Ibrahim, professor of cardiology, that hypertension in Egypt, there is about 37% from the hypertensive patient in Egypt aware that they have hypertension. Only 37%. The treated percentage is 23, and 8% only is controlled. Here in this slide we can see that if we can do early intervention to the risk factors like hypertension, impaired glucose tolerance, obesity, dyslipidemia, we can delay the progression of the cardiovascular disease event like renal failure, myocardial infarction, atrial fibrillation, stroke, heart failure. This can be done if we can manipulate these cardiometabolic risk factors, and we can delay the disease progression. So, controlling blood pressure with medication is unfortunately one of the most cost-effective methods of reducing premature cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. So, if we can treat hypertension early, so we can decrease the effect or the cost effective in cardiovascular morbidity and mortality and hospitalization. As we know, in Egypt, we are a developing country, so it is very important to reduce the cost in our hospital. Blood pressure has multiple regularity pathways. As we see here, we have three main components for the development of hypertension. That is the sympathetic nervous system, renin-angiotensin system, and the total body system. Total body sodium, RAS system, and the sympathetic nervous system. We have three different types of patient. Patient it could be the renin-angiotensin system is the number one. Or sympathetic nervous system will be the number one, or total body sodium content will be number one for that patient. So when we are treating hypertension, we can focusing it toward this RAS system. By focusing on the RAS system, we know that distribution of the RAS system inside our body, it is about 90% of the RAS system in the tissue and 10% in the vascular system. Most of us know this slide very well. We have many multiple risk factors for cardiovascular disease: diabetes, obesity, smoking, age. Through angiotensin 2, which is through activation of AT1 receptor on the vascular endothelium, it causes vasoconstriction, endothelial dysfunction, vascular hypertrophy, and atherosclerosis. All this lead to hypertension. Also, activation of angiotensin 2, it has a direct effect on the organs. On the heart, it may lead to apoptosis, fibrosis. So the end result will be heart failure, myocardial infarction. Or on the brain, it has a vascular disease, lead to stroke. Or in kidney, it has multiple effects on kidney via activation of angiotensin 2, resulting in decreasing GFR, proteinuria, glomerulosclerosis, which end by renal failure, and the end result will be death. So, RAS blockade can be considered a foundation of antihypertensive and cardiovascular preventive therapy. As we see here in this slide, that RAS blockade with CCT, alpha blockers, beta blockers, diuretics, and others. These are the lines of treatment of hypertension. And RAS blockade represented a foundation for this treatment. So, ARBs or angiotensin receptor blockers, what they are doing in the body? They have selective blockade at AT1 receptor. Also, they stimulate AT2 receptor. They have no systemic increase in bradykinin. They block also non-ACE produced A2. And the most important thing, that they have fewer side effects with good safety profile compared to ACE. So, when we are comparing ARB to ACE in treating essential hypertension, we show 2 points very important. The first one, that ARB has a better tolerated than ACE inhibitors in reducing cough. So when a patient taking ACE inhibitor and he develops the cough, the withdrawal rate is very high comparing if he is taking ARB. So ARB have 53 lower rate of withdrawal than ACE due to the side effect of ACE inhibitor. So, RAS blockade with ARB can be considered a foundation of antihypertensive and cardiovascular preventive therapy. First, RAS blockade was the foundation, and now we can say that ARB is the foundation of antihypertensive and cardiovascular preventive therapy. We are starting now to discuss about the ARB and its combination with other antihypertensive. Here we see the rationale for combination of ARBs with diuretic in hypertensive management. Diuretic effect by its mean action on afferent arteriole lead to diuresis and sodium depletion. While ARB effect on the efferent arteriole, they act through blocking the conversion angiotensin 2 to angiotensin 2, blocking the effect of angiotensin 2, so its effect on AT1 receptor, no effect of vasoconstriction, and they will leave A2 receptor, leading to vasodilatation. So the end result is vasodilatation and no vasoconstriction due to blocking of AT1 receptor. Selectivity on AT1 receptor with different ARBs. We have many different ARBs like valsartan, cantizartan, irbesartan, telmisartan, losartan, and their effect on AT1 receptor. We here see that valsartan is 3 times more selective for AT1 receptor than other ARB agent. So valsartan, one of the most selective ARB that we can use in hypertension. What about efficacy? When we speak about efficacy for valsartan, we can speak here about MACHT study. In MACHT study here, this is a study of 3 months. We have 16,500 patients with uncontrolled hypertension. In the second column, we can see that treatment naive, that means the patient has not receiving any treatment before. They discovered that they are hypertensive and they are uncontrolled and they receive valsartan. And also the pre-treated patient in the third column, we see that pre-treated with another agent for antihypertensive, and they are shifted to valsartan. In the treatment naive, the second column, we can see that the valsartan make reduction in the mean change in blood pressure, in the systolic blood pressure about 32, and in the diastolic blood pressure about 60 in the naive patient. That means if we have a patient recently discovered to be hypertensive and he doesn't receive any treatment at all, if we start by valsartan, we have a reduction in the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. Also, if we have a patient pre-treated before by any group of antihypertensive and he is not controlled, so we shift to valsartan, hydroxyzide. We can reach also a target goal of reducing systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Also, enalapril is one of the most common ACE inhibitor used in treating hypertension in our community. And here we compare the effect between valsartan and enalapril in reducing blood pressure in mild to moderate essential hypertension in an old patient. We can see here the patient aged from 61 to 80 years with mild to moderate essential hypertension. After 16 weeks treatment either by valsartan 160 or enalapril 20 milligram, we can see that the reduction in systolic and diastolic blood pressure is significant or even highly significant versus treatment with enalapril. Also, it is an important point here that discusses that valsartan, if we have a missed dose, if the patient forget to take his medication, for any reason, what will happen? Here, comparing the valsartan compared with enalapril after a missed dose, using the ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, and we will see what will happen. On this second figure, we can see that after missing dose of valsartan and enalapril, the increase in the systolic and diastolic blood pressure for valsartan, it is 2.1, 1.4. While in enalapril, the increase in the systolic blood pressure reached 5.5 and the diastolic blood pressure 3.8, which is also significant. So if a patient had a missed dose of valsartan for any reason, he is protected, he is covered for this next day who is having a missed dose. Another slide, this slide shows the tolerability of valsartan compared to another ACE inhibitor, which is lisinopril. Tolerability means if the patient can tolerate the drug or not. Tolerability here, comparing the adverse event which occurred from taking valsartan or lisinopril. And according to the tolerability, the withdrawal from the study or the withdrawal from the drug, or the patient to discontinue the drug due to side effect. In patient taking valsartan and lisinopril, we can say the patient with dry cough in valsartan it is 1%, and in patient who's taking lisinopril it is 7.2, which is highly significant. And for that reason, the withdrawal in the second slide, or the second figure, the withdrawal from study due to adverse effect, event was more with lisinopril due to the side effect, which is mainly cough. So, by using valsartan hydrochlorothiazide, 320, either with hydrochlorothiazide 12.5 or 25, we can achieve blood pressure goal in up to 9 out of 10 patients with hypertension. 9 patients from 10 patients, we can reach the target, we can reach the goal with maximum protection by using the valsartan 320 milligram with hydrochlorothiazide. What is the effect of valsartan on microalbuminuria and albuminuria? This is done by the DROP study. DROP study is the albuminuria response to very high dose valsartan in type 2 diabetes mellitus. The purpose of this study was to assess the ability of high dose valsartan to reduce proteinuria in subject with diabetic nephropathy. So we will give patient 160, 320, and even the high dose 640 milligram of valsartan, which is not available here in Egypt. We compared the response to valsartan at different doses in patients with hypertension and type 2 diabetes mellitus and albuminuria. We found that in the DROP study, the change from baseline at week 30, that valsartan 320 milligram reaching about 51 for the mean change in the UAER at week 30 more than if it is 64 milligram. So the 320 milligram to 120 milligram valsartan, it is the maximum effective and the maximum therapeutic dose. If we doubling the dose to 640, the benefit will be less. So when to use a new high dose of valsartan? We can use it for high risk patient and a very high risk hypertensive patient for nephroprotection to delay new onset diabetes mellitus and reduction in LVH. Again, to that slide, that RAS blockade with ARBs can be considered a foundation of antihypertensive and cardiovascular preventive therapy. So, RAS blockade with ARBs and combining with CCP, it will be a marvelous effect on hypertension and also on decreasing the cardiovascular morbidity and mortality, and the most important, to increase protection. CCP, calcium channel blocker, and R. Calcium channel blocker causing arterial dilatation. One of the most common side effects of calcium channel blocker that it has peripheral edema. It has low effect or effective in low renal patient, and also it has a benefit of reducing cardiac ischemia. But CCP cause RAS system activation. When you are using calcium channel blocker alone, you are reducing blood pressure, yes. You are making arterial dilatation, yes. You are reducing a cardiac ischemic attack, yes. But at the same time, you are making activation of the RAS system. And by using the ARB system, or the ARB, we cause RAS blockade. It has a congestive heart failure and renal benefit. At the same time, it has a venodilation effect. It is effective in high renal patient. It also attenuates peripheral edema, but it has no effect on cardiac ischemia. So, if we combine both of them, we'll take the benefit from the CCP, and we'll take the benefit of the ARB, and at the same time, we will counteract the side effect of CCP by the ARB, and also we can counteract the side effect of ARB by using the CCP. Our guidelines for recommendation of ARB say that treatment guidelines recommend combining an ARB with calcium channel blocker or diuretic. And also we can see here, this is accomplished study. This is done by using or comparing ACE inhibitor benzopril with hydrochlorothiazide and benzopril with amlodipine. Show that the combination of renin-angiotensin system blocker, which is here ACE inhibitor, plus the CCP amlodipine, may improve the cardiovascular outcome compared with RAS blocker plus a diuretic combination. Our NICE guidelines in 2010 and 2011 for treatment of hypertension. If we have a hypertensive patient, his age is less than 55 years old. NICE guidelines say that first step that you have to give him ACE or ARB. And if the patient is more than 55 years old or black patient, you have to give him CCP. Okay, if the patient is not controlled after giving ARB or ACE inhibitor or CCP, what is the second step? The second step is to combine both of them. ACE or ARB plus CCP. If the patient is not controlled, it will be not controlled on two drugs, so the third step is to give him thiazide-like diuretics. So, what is a beta blocker? Beta blocker is in the fourth step. If ARB, CCP, and diuretic not controlling the patient, we will consider another line of treatment, either alpha or beta blockers. So, when we are deciding to treat patient with hypertension, according to the NICE guidelines, we have to start either with ACE or ARB if the patient age is less than 55 years old, or CCP, or combining both of them after that. Here it is a real-life safety and effectiveness of amlodipine valsartan combination to treatment of hypertension. It is a study done in multiple countries, and Egypt was involved in this study, comparing or see the effect of amlodipine valsartan, and they make the patient take their real life safe, take real life. That means يعني هنا ما خلوش العيانين يبقوا مثلا ريستريكت الصوت ريستريكشن واللايف ستايل موديفيكيشن، لا، خلوا العيان يعيش حياته عاديه جدا وطبيعيه جدا، وابتدوا يدوا الاملودبين فالسارتان either by املودبين فالسارتان 500 160 اكسبورج او الاكسبورج اللي هو 10 160. لقوا ان الريدكشن المين بلاد بريشر ريدكشن بعد 3 شهور اوف تريتمنت في السيستوليك والدايستوليك is highly significant. So they think about why we can combine both of them, amlodipine valsartan in single pill. Is it effective? It is safety for patient to give him both drugs in one pill? Yes. Here they make a study or the patient with amlodipine valsartan 85 الكونسنتريشن مش موجود في مصر، والاملودبين فالسارتان 560 والفالسارتان املودبين 160 10 تمام. عند اهم حاجه ان هم كانوا ان البيشنت دول خلوهم يعيشوا الريل لايف براكتس بتاعتهم العاديه خالص without any change in their lifestyle. They found that the mean systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure during the treatment with single pill combination by amlodipine and valsartan either 10/160 or 5/160 or 5/80, they reducing the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure after 3 months. So when you give a single pill combination from amlodipine valsartan 5/160 or 10/160, it is according to the risk of the patient. If the patient is high risk, or if the patient is with high blood pressure, we can start with single pill combination 10/160. In this slide, we can see that from the second column, beta blocker, ACE inhibitor, CCP, ARB, and diuretics, this patient have taken monotherapy before beta blocker and they are not controlled, so we shift to amlodipine valsartan single pill combination. Also, the second column was not controlling over ACE inhibitor, and we are shifting to amlodipine valsartan, and the CCP also are diuretic. And we can find that the end result is a change, many change in the systolic and diastolic blood pressure is marvelous. So we again say that amlodipine causes peripheral edema, and valsartan or ARB will counter this effect by reducing the ankle edema or peripheral edema. Less incidence of peripheral edema in patients with amlodipine valsartan versus amlodipine monotherapy. Amlodipine valsartan with less ankle edema than amlodipine only. So, if patient not controlled on amlodipine and valsartan, what is the third step? It will be at the diuretic or thiazide-like diuretic. So, rationale for triple therapy in hypertensive patient, we can say that adding an antihypertensive agent is more effective than titrating. That means extra blood pressure reduction from combining drugs from 2 different classes is 5 times greater than doubling the dose of one drug. That means if we double the dose of one drug, we will not take the benefit if we add another drug. And we can summarize this in a rule of 10 for hypertension drugs. What is the rule of thumb? If we start with a drug, say PA, and we will reach decrease in the systolic blood pressure by 10 millimeter mercury, and we are not reaching the goal, what we will do? One, you will think that why not I will double the dose. If we are doubling the dose, it will not reach what you are needing or what the target you are needing. So if we add another drug from another class, we can reach the 20 millimeter mercury reduction that we are needing. Okay, if after this drug I'm not reaching the target of the goal, still the patient is hypertensive, what I will do? One thing that I can do, or can add another dose from B, but we are not reaching the target. So if we adding another drug, we can reach the maximum effective or the target for reduction of the blood pressure. So we have to say that 1/3 of patients will require 3 or more antihypertensive agents to achieve blood pressure control. تلت العيانين الهايبرتنشن محتاجين 3 drugs or more to control their blood pressure. This is a meta-analysis, and this is also from daily practice. So again, to the NICE guidelines, we found that step 1, step 2, step 3 that we can combine amlodipine or CCP, ARB or ACE diuretics if we are controlling risk patient with severe hypertension. And according to the European Society of Hypertension and the European Society of Cardiology recommendation for triple combination, when 3 drugs are required, the most rational combination appear to be a blocker of renin-angiotensin system, a calcium antagonist, and a diuretics at effective dose. So, is valsartan have a protection? Yes. When we speak about protection, we can see here في التلج أو في المناطق الجليدية البروتكشن إنك تلبس هيفي كوت في الحر والمطر. You can use umbrella for protection. The army can use different types of guns. And also all soldier can use الخوذة, and recently for female they can use this. So what about hypertension protection? Hypertension protection, we have multiple studies for valsartan for cardiovascular protection, Valuable, Valiant, Valheft, JK Heart, and the DROP study. Also amlodipine has multiple studies for cardiovascular protection. So when we combine these 2 drugs, we have more protection for the cardiovascular system. Also, when we add hydrochlorothiazide, we have also wide protection for patients with uncomplicated hypertension. Thiazide diuretics are the first line recommendation in the GNC7. Diuretics are also widely used for enhancing the hypertensive efficacy in multiple drug regimen, including in combination with ARB and CCP. Hydrochlorothiazide has been shown to enhance antihypertensive efficacy when combined with valsartan, and this is done in multiple trials. Also, low dose of hydrochlorothiazide, either 12.5 or 25 milligram hydrochlorothiazide, reducing the cardiovascular disease event, decreasing the coronary heart disease, congestive heart failure, cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular mortality, and total mortality by using low dose of diuretic. So finally, synergism between 2 agents is preferable than increasing dose with a single agent. Less adverse event of each drug alone with better efficacy and compliance are found in combination therapy. Morbidity and mortality reduction is the main aim in combination therapy. All are considered a foundation of antihypertensive and the cardiovascular preventive therapy. And finally, we can say that the valsartan-based therapy is the foundation in hypertension patients for better blood pressure control, better tolerability, and better cardiovascular outcome. Thank you.